Hi, this is Christine with Where's Watson? I'm here with Marc Battle, one of our faculty members in early childhood education, and I'm very pleased to be exploring the Immersion Room with Marc, who has, as a faculty member, created this amazing opportunity for our ECE students to use and learn in the Immersion Room. So Marc, tell us about how it all started.
Well, it all started, I had a walk here from the parking lot with Dan, and he said, have you ever been down to the Immersion Lab? And I said, what are you talking about? He brought me down here and I saw it, and he gave me a little glimpse on how the 360 worked, and I instantly thought, oh my golly, if I can take some 360 shots of daycare centers, inside a daycare center, and then utilize that for some of my courses for students to be able to use observation and make some sense of observation, I'm gonna use this room. So that's how it started, and then I ended up, the 360 I've done now is just homemade. This is Marc Battle style of a digital camera literally going like this inside a daycare center. But what we did create with this is it feels like you're right in the center of this, this urban downtown Winnipeg daycare center.
Wow. And so tell me how the students have experienced it as they've come in the room. I know you've got some audio that goes with it. So when the students come in, how do they experience it? What is some of the feedback that you've been getting?
Okay, well, this was cool, because this was really cool. I use this for a course called Play 4. And one of the things that I hope to do in Play 4 is allow a student to experience astoundment, like a kid.
Yeah.
You know, kids are astounded by everything, but we forget, right? So how can I create astoundment? Anyways, I stood at the door, had this all set up. The students were coming in to do the Immersion Lab experience. Watching their faces walk into this room was incredible. It was like they'd never seen anything like this before, right? The first time they stopped talking. They were quiet. They came in. They just sort of they made sense out of the room. Now, the neat thing was, I have audio. I recorded the people who work in this room to share their insights into some of the interests that the kids have. Because in my line of work, we take observations, try to figure out what the interests are, and then we turn that into curriculum, inquiry-based learning. So I recorded them talking about what was going on in the room with the sounds of the kids in the room. And I have never seen students take so many notes, be so engaged, and be in a moment as I have in this room. I've done this lots of times where I'll show pictures and I'll say, here's the observations, what do you suggest? There's not a lot there. The conversation after being immersed, seeing the possibilities of some of the environmental things to add to their observations or the reasons why certain things happened in the observations, changed the conversation. And it went deeper, much deeper than any of the other kinds of conversations I have with students because they're in it. But so more note-taking, more conversations, more connecting of this sort of the theory stuff that we talk about into a practice. It made it easier here because again, it's the sound. It's being in the room and feeling like you're in the space.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we pan around the room and hear some of the audio?
Yes, let me show you this. So,
Hi, I'm Marie.
that's good. Oh, that's good. Okay. All right, we're gonna record. All right, what have you guys noticed some of the interests? I also do things like this. If you want to bring the camera over here, I'm going to scooch through this. And then one of the things, so they listen to the observations, they hear what the kids have been interested in. Now I can be, now I can be a little bit more focused on what are some of the specific items that might help take that play even further. So I get to control that a little bit in my conversations, and I can take them right through the room, just so they get little bits of close-up. And I even take them outside. Here, I'm going to take them outside. Now we're outside. So I get to do observations inside, observations outside, make curriculum inside, and make curriculum outside too. Isn't that amazing?
That is so cool. Even I feel like I'm there. So Marc, tell me a little bit about how you might apply this technology in other ways. So you've tried it once, worked very successfully. How might we expand that?
I can see us using this in a multitude of ways. For one thing, the 360, being in an environment, I can talk about play. I can talk about guidance, guiding children's behavior. Why is certain behavioral things happening? For example, they mentioned in the video noise making. Well, I don't know if you noticed, but they had a whole bunch of stainless steel pots and pans on this side of the wall. Right? So everybody gets, oh, I get where the noise making is coming from. So how do we turn that into something positive? So I can do that for guidance. I can use this for child development, about how we use what we know about kids' development to design space, right? And create that kind of thing. I'll put it back to this. That's nice.
That is lovely.
But I was saying to you earlier, I feel like we have a tool here that I'm still not sure what else I can use it for, which to me is really exciting. Because then I get to talk to other folks about how would you use an immersion lab in your program, and then how can I take that and bring it into my own program. I can see things like, in some of my classes I'll have a list of questions and then I'll have a video for them to watch, and then they have to remember the list of questions to respond to the video. Well, I can have the video here and the list of questions over here, and we can do it all in one place. So I can see the 360 potential. I can see putting people into a space. I can see using the walls a little bit more effectively, but I'm not sure what else yet. And that's what's exciting to me. That's my students, after we were doing this, the students were saying more video. They would have loved it if when I clicked onto something like that, there was a video of kids playing there.
Right.
Which I can do.
Yeah.
So this is what makes me excited. As a constructivist, what makes me excited is I've got this really neat tool. The students are going to give me some really good ideas, and then I'll incorporate it, and from that I'll learn some more ideas.
It's like you're an artist and this is your canvas.
And I've got these brushes that I don't know what they do, but I know they're cool.
All right, so Mark, you seem to be a faculty member who's willing to take risks and be vulnerable and learn as you teach. So what would you recommend for a faculty member who's not quite as confident? What would be a first step that somebody could do to make use of this room?
For a first step, look at this room as 4 walls with 4 spaces to project an image. If you just want to have your PowerPoint notes on 4 walls, start from there. Here's how I look at things. You start small, something like that. You start talking to other people who use the room. Hey, have you ever thought about throwing in a video in there? Then you throw in the video. So start small, use the walls as 4 screens, and then see what else you can do.
Wonderful. And of course, all our faculty members have the support of Emerging Media and Production, who do not scream when you ask them for help. So thank you so much, Mark. This is so exciting. So glad to experience this with you. And I'm sure your students are absolutely thrilled.
Well, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.